Hey everybody, we are back. Thanks for tuning in again. I'm Angie here with Ragan and Massey and hanging out on Harley Hotchkiss's property, owner of Premium Plots. We moved over to a different plot. Where are we hanging out now?
We are just to the west actually of the other plot we were just in. This is mainly clover right behind us, and there is some chicory in the blend.
Okay.
The chicory is actually a bigger, leafier substance. It's like clover. The majority of the blend, as you can see, even the deer are already browsing on it, so you can see these have already been pecked off. So they really like to access this from the one corner, and they actually browse through this, and they'll actually go through the no-till plot that we're going to show next, and then they work their way up into the larger plot. So like I was saying before, they love diversity when it comes to food. So I mean, they start in one spot and they'll actually hit all of my plots when they're walking through.
Oh, wow. What's the advantage of the chicory in this blend?
The advantage of chicory is the magnesium, the zinc. There's a lot of key ingredients that the deer really like. They're really attracted to it. Obviously, it's leafier than clover. So when the deer, they actually eat 5 times a day. So obviously, a bigger, leafier substance is going to fill them up quicker and give them more energy. And then all those minerals are going to use it to their advantage, especially the bucks for their antlers.
Okay, now when was this particular plot seeded, and how's it progressing?
It was actually planted the same time as the other plots. As far as clover goes, I'm not a fan of planting in the fall, just because you never know how much rain we're going to get. But I was really surprised with the growth and how healthy this clover is. And out of the different clover blends that I've planted, this is the best that I've seen as far as planting in the fall. Typically, I like to plant in the spring when we get most of the moisture and all the rain. So,
can you talk a little bit about the benefits of planting clover?
The one thing about clover is right now, actually, before rut, the deer are really coming into the clover, and that's one thing I've found is pre-rut, they always love the clover plots. And then the late season, they'll really hit the brassica blends and then the oats and the ryegrass. So,
well, great. Well, you mentioned it. Should we head over to the other plot and check out what you're working with there?
So it's right through here. I started actually planting some of this through here just to kind of give them access and a natural trail of the food source so that they can smell it, and then they can...
they'll make their way back here towards those larger plots that we were just hanging out in.
This is a lot smaller, so this was more secluded, and that was the whole reasoning behind the no-till. We really wanted to show customers that how easy it is and how small of an area. This is generally more shaded in the mornings. It gets most of the sunlight in the afternoons, so just really wanted to show that with a farther access point, it's just how easy they are to grow in such a small area.
Okay, now what kind of seed was planted here?
This is the no-till, so it's predominantly ryegrass. There's brassicas.
Go through it. Go on.
So this is the brassicas. Probably a purple top turnip is my best guess, just from looking at the leaves. It's not really, this plant in particular hasn't been grown, but you can see out farther there's bigger, larger plants. They won't really start touching these until we get 2 really hard frosts, because it's bitter and a little bit nastier tasting to the deer.
Okay.
And what happens is when the frost hits the plant really hard, all the sugars get released, and then it's really sweet, and then they really like that. So like usually in Wisconsin, the first week of gun hunting, they'll start eating all the green leafy parts, and then later on in December, January time frame, that's when they'll really start eating the root and the bulb of the plant.
Now, what do deer find particularly appealing about this type of plot?
Again, diversity. So they'll eat the ryegrass, the clover. There is some clover in here, so they'll eat the clover and the ryegrass right now. And then, like I said, once the frost hits, that's when they're really going to start hitting the brassica once it sweetens up. So that way, late season, there's still a food source for them. So when all the corn and the beans have been picked by the farmers, they have this food source to get them through the winter.
Well, last time we talked, you mentioned this massive deer named Crab. Have there been any more sightings, or what's the latest with that?
Normally crab doesn't show up until late October for me, and so I've been really surprised this spring. He's been coming in a couple times a month, really checking out the plots, the water source and mineral sources I have. So I've got really high hopes that this is the year, and he also has a couple other buddies that have been hanging out with him. So, but crab, yeah, his brow tines are what really intrigue me. So hopefully he can be on the wall here in the next couple weeks or month.
Well, Harley, thanks so much for hanging out with us and showing us the progress of your awesome food plots. We hope you guys have all found this super helpful. If you have any more questions, make sure to turn to your friends at Ragan and Massey, and also to check out raganandmassey.com for more articles and product information. We'll see you guys next time.